Today, we are heading back into the abyss. The abyss created by our good friend Nuclear Stomp. So, let's jump in and see what horrors await us now. This was another terrifying trip through the abyss, and definitely one that was a little tough. The stage was put together quite well, with a lot of different traps and obstacles to try and overcome. Proto Man having the double damage definitely added to the difficulty, as you could only take so many hits before, game over. There were a couple of spots where it could have been tweaked a little bit, such as right before the Pluto fight, where if I hesitated for too long and kind of dropped into the pit there, and there was no real way to recover. But beyond that, this was all put together pretty well. The enemy placement was all done pretty well. I don't really have any complaints on that one. There were a couple spots where it was a little tight, but beyond that, enemy placement was done well. There was a good variety here, and I thought it all worked well. The power-ups were kept to a minimum and used sparingly, but when they were put into use, it was at very specific points, which works in this stage's favor. Primarily, we're talking about the elect beam and gravity holds, which are utilized to take out the boo beams in respective boss fights. This was a smart way to add the power-ups in there, but not have them go to waste. There were 3 boss battles in this stage, all 3 of which involved the boo beams. There was also one that included the centipede, and then of course finally Pluto. These were all, for the most part, well done, with quite a bit of challenge in there. That first boo beam fight in particular, because while they didn't directly attack you, the fact that you had 1 health point definitely made it a challenge. As for Pluto and the centipede, they were good boss fights. They were fun to try and tackle, but at the same token, there also wasn't much more to it than the boo beams roaming around to try and add extra challenge. Overall, this was another fun trip into the abyss. I've always enjoyed these stages. They're always a fun challenge to go through, and it's always interesting to see what unique takes come next in these little adventures. These are some of those stages that whenever I see it pop up, I look forward to trying it out, because I know I'm in for a rough but fun time.